Three-step formula to scale your business in any market. Add 6 figures. Who here wants to add 6 figures to their income? Maybe multiple 6 figures. I help loan officers quickly scale their business and add multiple 6 figures. Honestly, this is not for you. This is truthfully not for you if you believe a diet pill is the answer to all your problems. Have you ever been out there, you ever found yourself thinking the next diet pill was going to get you where you need to go, and you want to take that diet pill and now I'm going to lose the weight, I'm going to be in shape? Well, we do the same thing when it comes to, we search for one software, one gimmick, one trick. Problem is, this will leave you frustrated, burning through money, and worst of all, here's the worst thing, is it will destroy trust in yourself. What happens is we start doing these little micro losses because we are trying to take the shortcut. We're trying to get that one diet pill. We're trying to get this little software, trying to get the little gimmick, trying to get the little script. And we're not doing the layers that is going to really exponentially grow our business now. Therefore, destroys trust in ourselves. We say we're going to do X, but then we don't. This will hurt your ability to sell. This will hurt your ability to lead. This will hurt your ability to grow in the way you need. Now, after you heard that, you are a perfect fit. If you said, hey, I know that's not true. I know a diet pill isn't the next thing. I know that I have more to give and I have more to learn and I need to gain the skill sets. Give yourself a big congratulations for being an elite, growth-minded loan officer. Because guess what? Most loan officers will not stick around on this call, let alone even showing up, when they know it's not one easy trick, one little thing to take a massive impact in their business. As one of my mentors, great mentor, and I've been just blessed with some amazing mentors. Me being in coaching, I don't say, hey, let's get into mentorship and coaching and invest in yourself, invest through your coaching, and not do it myself. I've had the just pure pleasure of having some of the most amazing mentors. I pay thousands of dollars every month investing in myself and my growth, and it's just amazing. So, gosh, you cannot do anything better for yourself than invest in mentors and coaches. And my mentor once told me, says, stop and completely focus on what's important. You're never going to get any better results unless you just let go. Now, with me, this was a turning point to be totally open to new concepts and quickly act now. At one point, I was not being so coachable, being very bullheaded, not taking in the information and going and acting now and taking those action steps I needed to now, and not listening to the coaching that was going to get me to the next level. And he had to stop me and said, hey, you just got to let go. Got to let go of all that other baggage. Got to let go of all those other concepts. Got to let go of that garbage that you got going on in your head. So 45 minutes, here's what we're going to go through. 45 minutes, this is approximately going to last here. You want to stick to the end of this because there's going to be some really nuggets to take with you, take some action, and start growing now. But 45 minutes, how you can add 5 to 10 loans a month in just 12 weeks, how to have an unfair advantage in your market, how to bust through your limiting beliefs that has always held you back. And this is not going to be the same things you heard. You'll hear a lot of stuff that will feel batshit crazy, because it's going to be different than what you've heard before. Allow yourself to be totally open to new concepts today, because this will exponentially grow and you will have an unfair advantage in the marketplace. How to create an elite sales process so you're able to hire a sales team to scale. And guess what? You can do this without ad spend, spending money on realtor office meetings just to speak for 2 minutes and feel like you're begging for business. Anybody ever felt that way? Like, oh my gosh, I've got to beg for business, or I got to put all this ad spend in, or gosh, I'm tired of paying for all these realtor meetings. They just, okay, come up here and speak for a couple minutes and spend $500. No, we're not about that life. Before we share this exploration on our exciting world of growth, I just want to share 2 things. First, I'm very grateful for the opportunity and the attention you're going to find yourself more and more enjoying. Also, in the time that we have, I will share with you dynamite material you can use right away. But obviously, I can't share with you the full range of what you really want to learn. Keeping that in mind, let's go. All right, so do you ever find yourself wondering if this career is right for you? Do you ever find yourself emotionally drained trying to get your next deal or partnership? Do you ever find yourself having decent months followed by months you can barely pay your bills? Does that sound familiar to you? Maybe, yeah. Like drained. Maybe, man, do I need to switch careers? The market's down. Is this career really for me? I had a couple decent years. I just feel drained. Gosh, how do I get new partnerships? And is that sustainable? And wow, like I'm having struggles right now. That sound familiar? Well, here we go. Leads to the rescue. Leads to the rescue. You got lead marketers coming at you, right? Like, hey, buy these leads. We get them for 12 cents a pop, baby. Do all these leads. Or better yet, hey, let's get these leads so we can give them to real estate agents, 100,000 of them, and so them to muck through and really grow your business, right? Anybody ever heard that one before? Leads to the rescue, all the way around. You just need more leads. Get leads. Well, the problem with that is a lot is everything, because you think it's more leads that you need, and it just is raw leads. And hey, this is going to make me feel better. This is going to make me able to hand these out to real estate agents. This is going to help me be successful. But we're really going to go through this problem and why you're skipping steps that's not allowing you to truly grow, and how this feeds into the problem. We're going to go into that, and because a lot of people go that leads, right? Right now, lead marketers are preying on loan officers because they're feeling desperation. Loans are down. Oh my gosh, now I just got to do this. Let me go and pay these leads. I've never really done this before, or maybe I have done it before, and I'm just going to muck through these. This is what I have to do. Here's the deal. There's 3 stages. There's 3 stages of business. 0 to 8 is the cash flow. Call that cash flow. So there's when you start skipping steps, you're going to have real issues here. We're going to talk about that. 0 to 8 loans a month is in your cash flow. This is the state where you are starting to grow the business. Maybe you're new in the business. You got 0 loans. You got 5 loans. And when we're talking about loans per month, we're talking about how many loans you do on average over a year, over at least a quarter, and that's where you're trending. Not 1 month I do 8, month I do 1. What's going to be your average there? You're in cash flow state. You're in stage 1 of business. Now, for some, this may be a little hurt, right? Man, stage 1, I've been doing this for 20 years. Well, you're still in first gear. You're in cash flow stage. But there's going to be good news in this whole thing and how to shift this, and having the awareness of where you're at, acknowledging where you're at and what you need to work on, and how we can scale this thing. That is vitally important. It doesn't help to think we're just going to, again, take the diet pill and that's going to fix everything, right? It's not going to mask that. Our diet's not on point. We're not exercising correctly. This all comes back to the same business. We're trying to step over this, and we're trying to mask a lot of things, which is going to leave us, again, not trusting yourself. So in cash flow state, you need energy and tension first. What you will find is that most loan officers that are not doing 8 loans a month, or not 8 loans a month or more, there's an energy and intention, right? Your energy is not there, and you just don't have intention on what you're actually trying to accomplish. You're too widespread. You're thinking, I need to do all these other things. I need to add more of this, and you add more of this, when you're not being very center focused on what really is going to drive your business. So the energy and tension, I don't know why I need to do this. I don't know how I need to do this. All the energy and tension is not where it needs to be. And mindset. Does anybody know what mindset actually is? Mindset is a cluster of beliefs. It's just a cluster of beliefs. Mindset becomes something that gets thrown around, kind of flippant anymore. Before, it wasn't even talked about. I don't need that. What kind of foo-foo stuff is this? But then when you break it down, it's just a cluster of beliefs. Have you ever found yourself saying something negative that was holding you back? Have you ever found yourself saying something that kept you from picking up the phone? You ever found yourself not making a post online because somebody was going to have judgment? Guess what? There's been a mindset, there's been a cluster of beliefs happening that is not allowing you to exponentially grow. Exposure, you got to have exposure. We're going to go into that. This is really the marketing piece, and we're going to go into marketing, sales, and some specifics here later, especially here and gosh, some slides down here. We're going to go into some really cool stuff to start taking action now. But exposure is lacking, right? You don't have exposure. You don't have enough circle, maybe. But here's where we really want to dive into, is just sales skills. Sales skills, and all the way up through leverage to the first part of scale. Most all of that where it's lacking in your ability to go from 0 loans to 15 loans a month is sales skills. And more than ever, you have to have sales skills. And you can say, well, what about marketing? Yeah, marketing, absolutely. We're going to talk about that. However, what if you are marketing and people are coming to you, or you're talking to some people, but you're not able to have an effective conversation to move them down the path? You're having real estate meetings, but they're still not sending you business. You're having leads even, but they're not converting, right? Any of those things become sales skills. More than ever right now in this market, you cannot rely on just it's going to happen. I'm going to make more calls. And we're going to talk about that, more calls. You ever heard or you've been in a coaching company that they just say it's a numbers game? They say, hey, call, just blast through realtors. Just keep calling a whole bunch of them. That's going to be the fix. It's a huge problem too, because what happens is that our sales skills become diminished. It becomes just the numbers game, which we're going to talk about why that will lead to more. It will not allow you to go to leverage, or it will not allow you to especially go to scale. Okay, so leverage is 8 to 14 loans a month. Leverage income to automate. You're going to start, hey, I can start automating. Hire a centerpiece. This is a huge one. This is a huge mess with loan officers, is their centerpiece. They want to hire a loan LOA, an assistant. The very fact that you're calling them an assistant is the very fact that you will not really be able to grow with them. The very mindset of they are an assistant is the big miss. You have to hire a centerpiece. If you're, you know that, hey, listen, I'm in that 8, 10, 12, and I'm just gonna, I want to go to that next level. You got to hire a centerpiece. The centerpiece should be an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur. That's what you are. You're an entrepreneur. You're a loan officer out there. You're making nothing. You're making something out of nothing, right? Unless you're in a bank and they're feeding you a whole bunch of loans, and still probably you're making a lot out of nothing, right? You're going out there, you're having relationships, you're having conversations, you're making sales. You're the entrepreneur. You're the one running the ship. You're just umbrellaed maybe under a company, but you're still an entrepreneur. You need an entrepreneur, which is someone that absolutely loves to grow someone else's business. They take care of all the business. They're your right hand. Now, I teach that in a much deeper level of what they should be doing, obviously in our courses, but understand that is when you get going, don't ever call them assistant. It's a very bad move. It's a very bad move just to think that way and think, hey, I just got to have assistant kind of offload stuff. No, you need someone to grow your business. And that doesn't mean they're out there selling. They are actively doing everything in their power to run that, and you can build around them when you're in scale. You got to have the centerpiece. Then you can pay for some certain things, right? At this point, leverage, you're up to, some of that 12, 13, 14 range. You may be able to pay for some things. You should not allow yourself to pay for anything in cash flow state. And we'll talk about some, people that did that, how that can go. You can go about running your business and making money and getting in cash flow state and all these things that we are in cash flow state to not be paying for things. So right now, if you're paying for things, you're in that 0 to 8. Like we got to work on sales skills. I'm talking about paying for obviously mentorship or coaching or something that's going to make you better in the skill set. Paying for things that are just partnership related, right? I got to go pay for this thing. I got to pay for that thing. I got to go invest with them in Zillow. I got to do this and that. I got to pay for leads. We will go into this deeper, but that is the very fact you're not going to get to scale because you haven't learned to get past that point without trying to pay for it and then getting out of cash flow, which you should be getting out of cash flow. Scale is 15 loans a month plus. This becomes transformative leadership. What's transformative leadership? That means that when you leave the room, people are still doing what you're saying and they're running the show. Your person, your centerpiece is absolutely running the show. They know what you want, and you have such an effect on your team that they're doing things and operating in a way that because you have transformative leadership. Visionary, you become more of a visionary at this point, right? This is where you become someone that is an elite visionary that says, hey, this is where we're going. This is how it's going to be done. This is just the big, hairy, audacious goals. And you're constantly being on that train. And it's not a one-time thing. It is an evolutionary thing to continue to talk about and continue to bring to your team. You're going to be a coach. You're going to coach your people up. And this is where it becomes truly a business. It becomes truly a business at 15 loans a month plus. Now, when you skip past stage 1 here, energy, intention, mindset, exposure, sales skills, this scale falls apart, even if you get up there, because guess what? Trying to run a true business when you don't truly know how to have the sales skills, when you're trying to have transformer leadership and you don't have the mindset to do that, those all don't work. So we're going to go cash flow state a lot here. And here's the deal. How quickly can you go from 5 loans to 17 loans? This takes a long time, right? This takes years. You got to start establishing relationships. And this is something that doesn't Doesn't work overnight. Yeah, it doesn't work overnight. You're right. But can it work very quickly? When you start having cash flow, knowing where this goes, being very intentional on how you're going to move the needle, what your mindset's going to be, how you're going to get exposure, and how you're going to get the skill set to actually sell in a way that is different than anybody else. And it's not about rates, terms, and service, all that BS out there. And by the way, that is nauseating. We're going to talk about that specifically. But you will learn if you hang around me for any time. I speak different than any other loan officer out there or the coaching companies out there because they're just lame. They have the same thing. Let's go and talk about the rates and terms of services, and this is what you do. And you just go and sit down with them, talk about this, and guess what? It's not good sales. So if you do work on this real sales skill, which is not dictated on just pure volume, just make a tons of calls, then you can go from 5 loans to 17 loans like my boy Dante here. And he did this in about 4 to 5 months. Now, Dante's special, and we're going to talk about Dante real quick and like why you may or may not be able to do the same thing he did. Now, he by the way, he's in Scotsman's Guide, top 1%. I get a call from a loan officer a few years back, and he says, man, how in the heck are you doing so many loans? Do you mind if I come see you and just sit down and ask you some questions? Well, he was 3.5 hours away one way. I was like, yeah, absolutely. If you're willing to drive and just talk to me, then heck yeah. So he came, pen and paper in hand, asked me questions, had him already lined up. What do you want to ask? We had a really great conversation. So impressed with this guy. And I said, hey, why don't we work together? I want to get you where you need to go. We did. And this is the results. And he continues to have tremendous success. So this can happen very quick. But that's just one guy, right? Another loan officer went from brand new to 10 loans a month in their 3rd month, and then 20 loans a month in their 6th month. Just 6. So think about this. So you right now, maybe you're doing 5 loans a month. You're like, oh, there's no way I can add 5 or 10 loans in 12 weeks. Well, you have a book of business. Maybe you've been in the game for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. You have a book of business. You have relationships. You have people in your network. You have all these other things, advantages. So why can't you add 5 or 10 loans a month? Oh, it's a market. Well, I would go back to its sales skills. If you want to do the same thing you've been doing and have the same kind of conversations and feel very limited in your mindset, yeah, then that's going to be something you're not going to be able to accomplish. But can you do that if you have the right mindset and then you couple it with this skill set to have dynamic conversations? Yeah, you can. So who the heck did that? Well, that'd be that ugly fella right there, which is me. Okay. When I got in this game 6 years ago, that was what happened. I had very much energy and tension. I had very much a mindset. I was just going to win. I was going to find out a way, and there was no second option. It was actually, it's funny. I just got a reminder today of a memory. I was taking a picture at the office 6 years ago today. I didn't realize that until a few hours ago. Six years ago. My first month in, I had 16 people apply for a mortgage that was referred. This is no paid ad spend. I didn't pay a dime. I really, at that time, didn't have a lot of money. I switched over, took a chance. I was running Ashley Furniture, helping salespeople, professionals there. And then I decided, hey, I'm just going to do this thing over here. So I didn't have all this money to spend. So I just had great conversations. I started studying as soon as I knew I was going to do this, I was like, am I as good as what I think I am? Am I as good as a salesperson as what I think I am? So I started polishing my skills immediately. And so in the third month in, I started closing 10 loans a month. And as soon as I got paid, guess what I did? My first big paycheck. I invested back in my skills in sales training. And it wasn't in the mortgage space, because I think you have to go outside the mortgage space in coaching, except for this platform, to actually get the sales skills that is required to win predictably and easily. So in my 6th month, I was able to do 20 loans, and I was speaking on stage in front of a few hundred loan officers. They're like, how in the heck do you do that? So people started asking me all those questions, and people would come to me and say, hey, how the heck are you doing this? I'm going to meet with these real estate agents. I'm meeting with all these people. How many people did you meet? And when I would tell them how many people I met, they're like, that's all? I'm like, yeah, that's it. Well, I'm meeting with way more than that. I'm not getting business. Well, what are you doing? I would break down their sales conversations and immediately start helping them. So I started helping loan officers win predictably easy on the sales conversation 6 years ago. I just loved it. I wasn't making any money off it. I was just happy to, because I love sales. I love the dynamic and how much you can increase your sales and your business really rapidly if you buy into the fact that sales matters. You may be out there and you haven't had any sales training for years. It's not a set it and forget it, by the way. I continue to go in. I am invested in with the top behavioral expert in the world that helps me, the top linguist in the world, and I'm in other sales organizations as well that always are helping me continue to dial it in and bring the best material to my clients. If you decide to say, hey, let's go, let's actually grow the business now. So all my point here is that sales is very important. I know what it takes to go in there and win. I know how I continue to do well and be in that top 1% every single year and be able to do 20 and 30 loans a month and be doing it 15 hours a week. And I was able to do that by just really running my day, having intention in my day, and going up to scale immediately. Now, when I went up to scale almost immediately, and as far as my business, I still didn't know scale. So I had to learn scale. I had to learn more of the transformer leadership, what it would take inside. I had to learn what it would take to really sustain that and not work every night and weekend. And right, if you're working every nights and weekends, you think, by the way, that has to be done. And oh my gosh, I can't go on vacation. And just that's the way it is. That's just not true. That's a story and a mindset you're telling yourself. I didn't do it. I did it at the very first until I realized, hey, this is not the way to continue my life. And you too can figure that out, or I can help you figure that out. All right, so go next slide here. Does this sound like the kind of results that you want? By the way, it's not the end. We got a lot more, and I'm going to unpack a lot of this. So you're going to have some good stuff here very soon. We may go over, stick around and in, and probably go till about 2 o'clock. So clear your schedule, breathe, relax, and continue to learn the concepts. If you want to go ahead and schedule your clarity call now, because we got some big things going on here over here at LO Sniper 12-week launch program, go to losniper.com and go ahead and schedule that appointment. And I'll jump on here, and we're going to have some special things for just this, the people that are on this webinar, to really supercharge getting you going. Okay, losniper.com. Guess what? It is possible for you, and let's talk about what it takes to add that much volume that quick. Okay, so cash flow. We talked about that. Energy, intention, mindset, sales skill, exposure. Cash flow stage can feel like survival. Anybody felt like survival in the last little bit? Maybe last year, maybe now, as you're sitting here, cash flow can feel like survival mode. Does it feel like that? The market dictates volume, security, and future. That's where cash flow, like if you never get out of cash flow, it always is going to feel like that. Even when like 2020 hit and I was talking to loan officers, it was like, oh, I'm good right now. Oh man, I'm busier than ever. And it's nope. So they never worked on the sales skills. If that was you, you got to admit that to yourself. In 2020, things were good, but I never worked on any skill set. I never worked on scale. I never worked on putting a centerpiece around it. And I never worked on these things that are going to be sustainable, because guess what? The mindset didn't allow me to. And I said, oh, I just got to work all these hours, or I can't offload it, or I can't, it can't sustain this past. When is it going to end? Because we don't have the skill set and all the other salesmanship that we need to sustain that, right? That's when we try to skip past stage 3, right? Okay, we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna skip past stage 1. We're not gonna really work on skill set. We're gonna work on the sales. Stuff is good right now. I'm okay. I don't need that. I don't need coaching. I don't need any of this stuff. I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing. And then we just all fall back down the mountain. That's what happens in cash flow stage, because we really never got out of cash flow stage. And the market may have dictated that we got out of cash flow stage like by numbers, but we really never got out of cash flow stage by mindset, by skill set. Here's the deal. Have you ever tried affirmations and speak your success into existence, only to hear that voice whisper, "You're a liar. You're a liar"? We all have. We're going to talk about why that has been holding you down as well. If you're trying to speak that into existence, and there's a lot of people that will go out there and say, oh, just speaking in existence, I'm a 20 loan a month producer. I'm a 20 loan a month producer. And your mind is saying, no, you do 3 loans a month. Next month, you only have 1. You're a liar. Well, your unconscious mind makes up 95% of your thoughts. It controls your mind. So what are you putting in there, and what you're telling it to, and what the data that's reading is holding you back, right? Hold with me. We're going to get at some good stuff here. We're going to talk about 3 words that are going to change everything. And we're going to talk about specific sales and marketing in some slides here later. Gosh, this is good stuff. Allow yourself to just take in the concepts and all this goodness. Let me introduce to you the 3 most powerful words to change your whole world. And that is up until now. Up until now. Remember, we've been trying to tell ourselves a lie, and it's like, you're a liar, you're a liar. And it's holding us back down. Up until now. Here's how it works. I've been a struggling loan officer up until now. Going forward, I joyfully choose to gain the skill set to become a 17 loan a month producer, because I'm totally worth it. Yes. Now, this is something you could put your own words, but your assignment after this is going to be, what is my up until now going to be? After here, what is my up until now? What is going on right now that I have been struggling with, or who I am now? But then there's a break in the action. This is breaking it, and it's telling your unconscious mind, yes, I acknowledge that there's been a problem, because you have to acknowledge it. This happens even with your mindset and even with your affirmations. You have to acknowledge there's a problem that exists to your unconscious mind, so it doesn't call you a liar. So it says, yep, there's been one. But then you're breaking action saying, now I am not, hey, I'm fixed, because it also no, hey, I'm not. If you say up until now, I suck, but now I'm a machine. I'm doing all this. It's like, no, you're still not doing that. But what can you do with breaking action and moving toward your goal? Makes sense? It's very, very powerful stuff you start using. So in your language, when you go to say something negative, up until now, I've struggled to get past 8 loans a month. Going forward, I joyfully choose to take action on growing my skill set to be a 20-month loan producer. Yes, because I'm totally worth it. You're totally worth it. You feel like you're totally worth it to do a lot of loans, make a lot of money, go on vacations? Yes. Yes. Tell yourself that. Yes. Say, you're on mute. So yell it out if you can. Yes, I'm totally worth it. Yes. By the way, a little cue for you, and this will help you in your sales. And I'm just throwing in nuggets here. Your body language is so much. Your physiology happens before actually your brain reacts. So what you want to do is go ahead and just open your hands as wide as you can, relax your shoulders, open up all your diaphragm, and be exposed. Okay. That will help you in actual sales conversations as well when you're actually meeting someone, because you take up more room, that you actually show like you're more confident and you're more trustworthy. But it'll also help you now to feel like, okay, things are okay. So control your physiology. Okay. All right. I imagine you, like me, want to discover all the ways you can find yourself truly maximizing your marketing and sales so you can possess an unfair advantage. So how about I give you some actionable content with your marketing and sales? How about that? Woo, ready to go? Okay, let's go. There's a big difference between brand and marketing. We're going to start there. Neither one of us is Coke or Nike. Anybody think they're Coke or Nike? Some of you don't probably like Coke or Nike, so it's like, oh, I'm not that. But Coke or Nike, what are they? They are a brand. Everybody knows the brand. And a lot of times there's people out there saying, hey, just work on your brand, your brand, your brand, your brand. Like, brand can be built along the way, but marketing is where it's at, especially in the cash flow stage or all the way up to 17 loans a month, is because our brand is what people say. Like had the honor of being networked with Henry Kaminsky. He's a brand doctor, brilliant dude. He helps people brand all over the world, and he'll tell you the same thing. It's just what people are saying when you leave the room. That's your brand. We just need to work on our marketing. So just let go of all that other garbage that's been told to you when it comes to brand. Okay, let me introduce you to the number one currency in marketing. You want to know your number one currency in marketing? You're like, why is a risque woman on my screen? What the heck? Well, if you're looking at that, you're like, what happened? You got really focused, right? Your number one currency in marketing is focus. Now, you don't have to share risque women. This is just to illustrate a point. But your number one currency in marketing is focus. Without creating content that gets our partners, our clients to stop and find themselves wanting to read on, it won't matter. And this all happens in 1 to 2 seconds. So let's talk about how to do that. Okay. So how do we do that? PAS, P-A-S, problem, agitate, solve. So in your marketing, when you're trying to market, you're trying to grow, PAS, P-A-S. Humans are hardwired to quickly focus for 2 main reasons: pain / potential pain, or stories. Questions to ask before we send out our marketing pieces or post. Will this create focus in the first few seconds? Am I using PAS method? And is there a way I can combine PAS into a story? So let's talk about this. Offer accepted. We're going to pick on real estate agents for a second here. I think somewhere along the line, they're like, just put offer accepted. It's brilliant. It's lame, right? Like after it just gets tuned out after a while, right? The only ones that are liking that is fellow real estate agents and loan officers trying to kiss the real estate agent's butt. It's lame. So this is an example I wrote. I wrote this in about a minute. It's not the best, and I did that to illustrate a point because I could take more time to do that. But how easy it can become, and how we can teach you, of course, in the modules, how to just work on this PAS method, get better posts, get better copy. We have copywritten emails we'll help you with as well. That way you can actually get sales from your marketing pieces, not the same old lame-o crap that's been sent out and it's like, hey, here's a little market update. Doesn't work. Example, Clients are constantly getting outbid in this market. My amazing clients came to me feeling frustrated and feeling and about to give up. I really felt for them and let them know it doesn't have to be this way. We sat down together and we quickly came up with a strategic plan that would help them and win in this market. After just 2 offers, my palms were sweating as I picked up the phone, feeling like I was calling my mom to tell her I got straight A's. My client answered as if I was her principal in high school. I asked, guess what? You're going to be moving into your dream home. As if all the clouds were suddenly lifted, she shouted to her husband, we got it, we got it. It's moments like this, it's moments like these that that makes me spend the extra time to come up with real game-changing plan that helps my clients have memories like this. I strategically help homeowners win offers. If you're tired of getting outbid and thinking of giving up, give the one last shot with their strategic partner that predictably wins offers in this market. Schedule now, www.yourstrategicrealtor.com. So that is just a really quick example, but we use the past method with a story. Understand? So think about that in your marketing pieces. Okay. Here's something that I want to change completely. Like, listen up. If you're like just going, oh man, I don't know, I didn't get the last thing, or there's anything, or I don't know these concepts, or you're having any overwhelm, release this, because right now we're going to have something completely change the way you're thinking about having conversations. Allow yourself to be really open to this. Someone asks you, why should I use you as my lender? What's your answer? So think about your answer for just a moment. Imagine somebody says, why should I use you as my lender? What's your answer? Perhaps it was something, hey, I close loans really quick. I really care about my clients. Your first word should be, I don't know if you should. This is what we love to do, is pattern interrupt to our objections, to way people are thinking. Old school selling is about presenting your products, your services, your rates, blah, 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 blah. Question: what does your competitor say about that? When you ask the same question. What if I asked your competitor? What if I went to your competitor right now and said, hey, Johnny, why should I use you as my lender? Will their answer be something similar? Would it be something along those same kind of lines? Hey, my rates and services are good. Hey, I'll close really quick. Hey, I care about my clients. Okay. So remember, what is your number one currency in marketing? Guess what? It is focus here. It applies in sales. Because if you don't create focus off the bat, if you don't break somebody's pattern of thought, then you cannot win at that point. So I want you to imagine for a moment, you're walking through the woods and you hear a loud crunch. What do? You turn because you think, oh my goodness, it's a big bear. So remember, we talk about what creates focus in our sales, in our marketing. If you could take this away, it's saying, how am I creating focus in my conversations? We teach body language. I teach some really high influential body language stuff, blank rates, and how they move their shoulders and where their back should be, and all these things in a conversation, and you can start implement it really quickly. But you could start reading this. You start seeing whether somebody is engaged more than you are now. I could promise you. I kind of know body language. Bullcrap. Unless you're really, really using it, then you don't. There's a big gap between knowledge and skill set and how to deviate in a conversation. It's freaking phenomenal, and you can make sales when you never could before. So this bear crunches. You think, man, it's a big bear. Could be I walk through the woods and I hear a crunch. I'm like, what is that? You don't want to get eaten by a bear. So what are you doing to create focus in your marketing and in your sales conversation? Because if you don't create focus, you can't win. You can't influence unless somebody's concentrating on what you're saying, right? And we teach a lot of focus generating words, focus generating questions, focus generating phrases to help you with this. So when we can immediately interrupt someone's pattern of script, we can now influence. A great way to do this is an agreement frame. I'm gonna just give you a really quick one, but we go much, much deeper in our program. But I just want to give you a little nugget because you may find yourself getting, there's a lot here. Okay, I got a lot going on. And but let's give you this so you start thinking, hey, how can I start just hitting somebody with an agreement frame? We're hit with an objection, and what happens next? This is a huge one. If you could take this away, if you're hit with an objection, something's happening, you're in a sales conversation, where do you normally lie? Do you shrink naturally or do you posture naturally? And if you think I don't do either naturally, then you have more work to do on this than you think, because we all go to one side or another naturally. Now, when we start recognizing this, we can easily and quickly find ourselves becoming more and more confident and composed is what the middle of this is. But it is going to take work and recognition, and in the moment, you can find somebody is trying to object to something. You could be like Grant Cardone over here posturing, man, you better do this, better do this. Oh, well, why wouldn't you come with me? And we got the best services, we got the best rates, we got this. Or shrinking, well, hey, call me maybe. Which one do you go to? So maybe make yourself a little chart. And actually, we can send one to you if you want to email angel@hirescoaching.com. She'll send you one. You can actually put it on a background on your phone. It's been very helpful for clients. Gosh, I've coached so many clients and they're like, gosh, that was so helpful because they're just looking at it on their phone too. Like once in a while, I need to be confident, composed. Am I shrinking or am I posturing? Okay. Agreement frame. I have a lender. I agree. That's very important. What do you like about them? That's a very simple one. We got much deeper than that. But I agree. This releases energy. This releases all the bad negative energy because they think, oh gosh, somebody's going to posture or somebody's just going to walk away. What are they going to do? They may think an argument's coming. Agree will make them feel like, okay, oh, cool. They agree. I can release this negative flow energy. And remember, here's the deal. When you try to do anything other than agree and have an agreement frame, what you're doing is you're calling into question their judgment, which is they're going to blackball you immediately, thinking, oh, okay, you're one of those. You're the typical salesperson. You're going to say feel, felt, found. If you've ever been using that, by the way, it's outdated and old. Others have felt that way, and now they feel it. Right. It's old. It's outdated. Agreement frame, and then people are scared to death of what do you like about them? It's great. Be very open. What do you like about them? We still have the ability to influence, and we talk about how to influence and continue that conversation. And a lot of times just continuing it one or two more layers, and all of a sudden goes from non-sale to cash. We have a 3-step formula in our program. I actually presented this to real estate agents in the office last week, and they're blown away. It's a 3-step process of being able to squash objections and get the cash. Highly influential. Here's a cold hard facts. If you're not doing 15 loans a month or more, you have a sales problem. You have a sales problem. If you're not, how much money would you make doing 15 loans a month? So calculate that in your head, or on your, if you got pen and paper, how much would you make per month and per year if you were doing 15 loans per month? On your average loan, if you're making $4,000 a loan, that's what, $60,000, $720,000 a year. Now, how much are you making currently, and what is that gap? What is the skill set gap costing you a year? Seriously, think about that. This is something that we have to dial in and go, we have a gap, and how do we get the skill set to match what we really truly want? How we can take vacations, how we can go on these great trips that, my family deserves, and stop being stressed out and overwhelmed and all these other things associated with it. I can scale, I can put centerpieces in, I can do these other things to do it at scale because I have the skill set now in the sales skill set to really grow my business in a way that's sustainable, that's enjoyable, and it's fun stuff, right? It's fun stuff. When have a sales skill set, I love sales. I absolutely love it. Cool. Call. Let's have a conversation. It's a good game. I'm going to influence. I'm going to have an amazing conversation. And think about that last one when we talk about, I don't know if I should. When sales becomes something that, hey, listen, I'm going to pattern interrupt, but also the big thing that we didn't speak about, why that's so instrumental, is because we just want to already go from the viewpoint of, we're not trying to beg, plead, or anything else. I don't know if you should use me as a loan officer. Perhaps if I knew a little bit more about you and your business, we can work through that together and see if you're a possible fit. So it already gives us that ability to now go in a doctor frame of, I hold a strong frame and we'll see if we're a fit for each other. I'm interviewing you and what you're doing, rather than I'm trying to beg and plead, and all that becomes very spammy. Now we become very influential and attract the right partners. Isn't that awesome? Gosh, we had so much stuff in store. Okay. All right. So how do you go from 0 loans to 20 loans a month in 6 months? With influential sales skills I train inside our walls. You'll learn scripts, concepts, tonality, and techniques that less than 1% of sales professionals know. That is a guarantee. The stuff that I teach inside the walls, you'll have an unfair advantage. People have not heard of this. People have not heard how you can actually move people from closed to open in a conversation, how you can move someone to take action now, how you can break scripts, how you can get information without asking a question. A lot of great stuff. But, oh, sure, right? Like, sure, you could just call more people, get 15 loans a month. Absolutely. The old way, call more people, increases loans. New way is, I can increase my loans and decrease my hours, get 15 loans a month plus, and only work 30 hours a week because I have the skill set to do so. I know that may sound far-fetched, but that's just truth. I've lived that life, and that's just the way it goes. And others have as well. Here's what I want you to implement after this call. I want you to implement up until now. I want you to get the pendulum swing. That way you always know, hey, where am I in the pendulum swing? And I want you to write down your gap. And I want you to talk about what it would be. Tell yourself how your life would change if you change that gap and you bridge that gap. What would that mean to you? What would that mean to your family? What would that mean for your happiness and your options? Write those down. Okay. If you want more and you want actually the good stuff, and there's going to be 1 or 2 people here. One's going to be like, oh, well, I got enough, and I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. I'm going to keep struggling, and I'll figure this out on my own. And oh gosh, I don't want to do that. Or there's people that just take action, and the ones that say, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to really have a conversation. So we can have a conversation, obviously one-on-one, and see if this is even a fit, because I still don't know if it's a fit for you to be inside our walls. I got to make sure that you're the right fit, because I'm going to be helping you, and I got to know that you are coachable and you are willing to take new concepts, and you're going to do the work, and you're going to show up, and you're going to be a great member inside the walls. But the value stack, here it is. You got 2 live calls per week. I'm on there doing calls, having conversations, personal coaching for me, where you can ask me one-on-one questions inside on the Zoom. Also, Like, for example, we had a guy, Taylor, but by the way, this works for new people too. Like I was talking to a guy a month and a half in. He's like, hey, I'm going to meet this real estate agent. She's doing really well. She does like 50 something transactions a year. And what I say is I recorded him 6 videos and shot it to him, and he was able to nail that that meeting. And she was telling him, yeah, I want to do business with you, without him even asking. And he was like, oh my gosh, I would have done this and this and this wrong before, and I would have lost it. But with your, the conversation that we had, and the tonality I was able to implement, and the right questions, the right time, and not talking about rates in terms of services, I was able to land this great client. So the Baller Video Library includes sales influence mastery, marketing. This is, gosh, high level marketing stuff that you can do now. Done for you material, which includes all down here, playbooks for real estate agents. You can hand to them. Really cool. And this has helped a lot of loan officers grow their business, because it's not about same old lame old. It's sales and marketing, high level stuff you can actually use yourself as well. I record videos to explain it, to be the expert. You do with the done for you material. It's things you could put on. You can put on classes, events. We'll teach you how to do that, along with scripts, concepts, and also in this done for you material, we have copywritten swipe files that you can go ahead and start marketing with. Bonus for this webinar only, you have to obviously go ahead and schedule your appointment today. Doesn't have to be talk today, but schedule your appointment today. You'll get a VA appointment setter for 1 month for free to schedule you real estate agents. We will vet them, have them ready for you, and get them going to make appointments. Get 1 free ticket to my next live mastermind, and you could book me for free to host a done for you webinar, so you can invite people and I can show up and just deliver. If you that is great. Even if you like to deliver your own material, this is going to be really good, because it's an outside and you can make it a bigger deal, and it really works to help you leverage and get more clients. So schedule your growth call acceleration right now at losniper.com. losniper.com. Gosh, I will see you inside soon. Hope you just really take a hold of your business now and stop just hanging on. Invest in yourself, believe in yourself, believe that skill set can rise you to the cream of the crop, the top as a loan officer in this market. Doesn't matter. It works in any market if you can work on your sales and your marketing chops to really scale and not just hang on. So invest in yourself, invest in a way to really get out of your comfort zone and your conceptual zone. So the concepts, being just able to just learn and implement and get the skill set you need to grow. I'll see you soon.